Good evening and welcome. This is News First Primetime News live on MTV and Shafta TV. I am Shahin Jurongpati.
Good evening, I'm Aishwarya Pinto. Let's start off with a look at your headlines.
Deputy Minister Harsha De Silva says the GSP Plus concession will be obtained. Petition filed in court seeking an overseas travel ban on the governor of the central bank. Political parties comment on the death of Rugrite Wasim Tajuddin.
Tajuddin මහත්තයාගේ මිනිහ එළියට ගත්තා. අපි කියනවා විජයදාස ලියනාරච්චි මහත්තයාගෙත් දැන් එහෙනම් එළියට ගන්න.
මෙතෙක් ඇයි මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ජනවාරි 8 වෙනිදා වෙනකන් එතුමාට තිබ්බ 2012 ඉඳලා කාලයක් අවුරුදු 3ක කාලයක්.
Will Kumar Sangakkara enter politics?
On to your stories in detail. The progress of the island-wide compost yard program was discussed today in the Mahaveli Centre under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena.
The Central Environmental Authority launched a program as a solution to garbage disposal issues around the country. President's media unit said that during the discussion, the President emphasized the need to maintain the compost yard efficiently and effectively. The performance and issues at the main projects in Mathura, Lankapura, Mawatakama, Mahoya, Elpitiya, Hambantota and Lunugambera were also brought forward during this event.
Addressing a meeting in Kakirava yesterday, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe elaborated on the accomplishments of the 100-day government.
We formed a government and made sure the 100-day program was accomplished. We established freedom, stopped corruption, reduced the price of oil and other essential items. We came forward for a new era and showed our skills. We have hope for the future now. We are here today to guarantee you that future to build a new country in 60 months.
Addressing a meeting in Morawaka today, UPFA Kurunegala district candidate Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed the following views.
Ranil Wickremesinghe stole the post of Prime Minister. He does not have the right. Yes, the President was changed, but that does not mean the Prime Minister can change the cabinet. The highway and train service, which could have been extended to travel to Hambantota, was stopped. They did all this and took away the jobs of the people. I will tell Ranil Wickremesinghe very clearly, we will have 117 seats in Parliament.
Ranil Wickremesinghe එකක් පැහැදිලිව කියන්න ඕන අපි 117ක් ගන්නවා.
The United People's Freedom Alliance convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
Tajuddin මහත්තයාගේ මේ මිනිහ එළියට ගත්තා.
The body of Tajuddin was exhumed. We then called for the body of Vijaydas Liyanarachi to be exhumed. It is said that the body of Richard D'Souza is buried in Moratua, who is responsible for his death. Then there is a case of Rohana Vijayveera. Then there is Sagurika Gomes, an artist. We know who the perpetrators are. The issue is about the color of the flags. If bodies of persons are exhumed during the election period for political gains, these bodies also needs to be exhumed. Then there is a case of the former Chancellor of the University of Colombo, Professor Stanley Vijay Sundara and Tevis Guruge. When you speak of the media, there is Vijay Kumaratunga, an individual whom all we respect. He was the husband of Chandrika Bandaranayaka. I asked from Chandrika Kumaratunga, shall you and I come together and unearth the truth of this death?
විශේෂයෙන්ම චන්ද්‍රිකා කුමාරතුමා මැතිණියගෙන් ඔබතුමියයි මයි දෙන්නම එකතු වෙලා මේ මරණය පිළිබඳව ඇත්ත කතාව දැන්වත් එළියට ගමුද කියලා.
The United National Party convening a media briefing commented on the death of late rugby player Wasim Tajuddin.
If he knew about this issue, why did he wait until now? Since 2012, he had 3 years to look into it. Why did he not take any action? Why is he now saying that he feels the pain that the mother of Wasim went through? And what if it happened to one of his children?
It was said that this was not murder but an accident. Nowhere was a vehicle crashed and caught fire resulting in death. When a vehicle crashes, the people in the vehicle disembark. They will not be smoking cigarettes and be on the telephone while the vehicle is on fire. Tajuddin is a ruggerite. The left side crashed onto the light post. It takes at least 4 hours for the inferno to engulf the vehicle. But Tajuddin was in the car and was found charred. The wallet was found somewhere else. While there was so much of evidence, why did the government remain idle for 3 years? They engaged in a cover-up. The question is why? According to the CID report, he lost 4 teeth and suffered blunt force trauma to the head. He was stabbed to the neck as well. What is interesting is that Lasantha was also stabbed in the neck. All this was done with the use of 9 white vans. They are connected to the disappearances, including Eknaligoda.
Son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Rohitha Rajapaksa, addressed a meeting last night in Kantale.
Does anyone present here know what the federal system stands for? Many do not know what it is. When you ask this from the villagers, they inquire whether it is something like the coconut scraper at home. The federal system is one that will divide Sri Lanka with separate police divisions, separate leadership and create separate rules for administration. Ranil Wickremesinghe says he will bring this system after the 17th. Unless we come here and visit you, we do not know the hardships that you go through. The issue is this. On the 17th, it is only a vote, a cross, a line drawn with a pen for some. However, do not destroy the future of your child. Do not divide the nation.
UMP Deputy Leader Sajith Premadasa attended a public rally in Middenia yesterday.
Local politicians as well as clergymen were present at the event. When I arrived, they said that Sajith Premadasa was the parachuter. They dubbed me as the crow coming from somewhere else. He's only here for elections and after that he will flee back to Colombo. And who said this? Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Now I would like to ask the public of Middenia, who is the parachuter, Sajith or Mahinda? Who made a bigger jump than Hanuman from Hambantota, my friends? I, Sajith Premadasa, make a statement at this instance that I will provide shelter to all those from the alliance in this district who were left unattended.
The Newsfirst Gum at the program aimed at electing a clean parliament is being recorded at the Newsfirst premises. We are now joined with Newsfirst Chaturanga Haporach with more details. Chaturanga, what do you have for us?
Another phase of the Gum at the program is being recorded live here at the MTV MBC head office complex in Colombo. Now, the MTV MBC Channels Private Limited has always been in the forefront to educate the public to vote in a clean parliament. Now, this Gum at the special recording is evidence to that initiative. As you can see behind me, a number of high-ranking officials from the government sector has been invited for this special recording. In fact, the Additional Elections Commissioner M.M. Mohammed and the police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara are also in attendance. In addition, public representing all provinces of Sri Lanka are also here for the recording. Now, the Newsfirst, Sirasa, Shakti has always embarked on the point, think before you vote. I am Saturang Hapwarachi reporting for Newsfirst.
Addressing a meeting in Ambilipitia today, former President Chandrika Bandaranayake Kumaratunga expressed the following.
The police were afraid to do anything during Rajapaksa's regime. Why? Because the 2 biggest drug kingpins in the country were brought into parliament and were made deputy ministers by Rajapaksa. So what more can the police do? The 2 main ethanol dealers were in Mahinda's government. One minister was even arrested and is now contesting the election. That person asked for nomination from me, but I chased him away. I really do not understand why anyone would vote for Mahinda Rajapaksa.
A group including Northwestern Provincial Councillor Rizvi Jawaharsha convened a media briefing in Colombo today. My name was omitted from the United National Party nominations list. I make this allegation against Minister Rishad Bathiuddin. He did not even own a 10-perch land. Today he owns more than 3,000 acres of land in the Mannar district alone. What we have here are files pertaining to his land deeds. There are over 70 files here. The deeds are under the names of his father, brother, his wife, his mother and relatives. That is how these deeds have been formulated. There are files pertaining to the Green Lanka Private Limited Company. His wife owns 90% of the shares. There is another company named Mega Construction and Supply Private Limited. Contracts were given without calling for tenders. This illegally earned money is being used for the elections. We are prepared to present this to the Elections Commissioner in writing. We have submitted this to the Bribery Commission.
මේ අල්ලස් කොමිෂමට නාම යෝජන නොදීම නෙමෙයි මෙතන වෙලා තිබුණ මෙතන වෙලා තියෙන්නේ නාම යෝජන නොදීම නෙමෙයි නෑ නෑ ඔබතුමා කොහොමද දන්නේ මේ නාම යෝජනා සම්බන්ධව කියලා මේක නෑ නෑ මම මේ සම්පූර්ණ විස්තර ඔක්කොම නෑ නෑ මම ඒක විතරක් නෙමෙයි රිෂාඩ් තමයි කැපුවේ රිෂාඩ් කැපුවා හින්දානේ රිෂාඩ් කියලා කියන්නේ ඔව් සිරිකොත් ඒක කරා ආදී සාකච්ඡාව තියලා කියන්න යන්න නිකන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ යන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ කවුද දන්න කවුද නෑනේ ඔව් නේද දන්න කවුද නෑනේ යන්න නිකන් බොරුවට එයා රිෂාඩ්ගේ මන්ත්‍රී කෙනෙක් අපි අහන්න කැමති මේකද
Is this what you call democracy? People who obtain illegal money from Rishad Bathiuddin are the ones who came here. I am the one who submitted documents to the Bribery Commission on the 6th of March on Minister Rishad Bathiuddin. He contacted me a week before I made the submission. He continued to threaten me not to make the submission. I have it recorded. I can play the recording for you. He threatened me. Then many others called me and offered to make a deal. They offered money to keep me silent. Then for a personal matter, I travelled to Bangkok during the fasting period. Then he had spread a rumour that I took the money and went to Europe. Some asked me whether I took the money and left. I was angered by this and I returned to the country. I did not take any money. In order to prove it before I made the submission, he convened a media briefing and said that I extorted money from him. I did not make a single call to him, nor have I ever met him or spoken to him for 14 years. I even got a call at the gate of the Bribery Commission. Even his lawyer contacted me. I have recorded everything.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe held a special discussion with persons attached to the apparel sector.
During the discussion, which was held at the Temple Trees, the Prime Minister said that he expects to bring back GSP Plus concessions in the future. Factories which were shut down will get an opportunity to reopen. This will help us to get better wages than current salaries. The Prime Minister asked one thing of all government manufacturers. He said, I will take GSP Plus again. But on one condition. They agreed in one voice. They agreed to increase the wages of their employees once the GSP Plus concessions are obtained. They agreed to it.
The Democratic Party held a public rally in Karandenia today. If he couldn't fulfill all the promises he is making in the last 12 years, and if he only played havoc, looked after his own family only, became a murderer, turned the lawful into unlawful and ruled the white van culture during that time, what other guarantees can he make after coming into power again? What is the guarantee he can make that he would not creep himself from the back row to the front row of parliament and stab Maithripala Sirisena's back and continue with his old habits? A petition was taken up before Colombo Additional Magistrate Chandima Liyanage today, seeking a travel ban on the Governor of the Central Bank, Arjuna Mahendran. The petition was filed by former Provincial Councillor Renuka Pereira. The petition states that on the 27th of February this year, when Arjuna Mahendran was serving as the Governor of the Central Bank, he first issued bonds that were worth 1 billion rupees and later on the same day issued bonds that were worth 10 billion rupees. The petitioner further stated that as a result of these transactions, the government incurred a loss of 1,393 million rupees. The petition goes on to read that the loss has risen to 72 billion rupees, and as steps need to be taken on the matter, the Governor of the Central Bank should be prevented from leaving the country. The additional magistrate who took into consideration the facts that were presented said that the decision will be announced tomorrow.
Speaking at one of the JVP's major rallies in Nugegoda, party leader Anura Kumara Dissanayaka expressed the following views.
Speaking at a meeting, Mahinda asked the girls and boys not to get married until the 17th. He said he will give them 200,000 rupees. What did he do during his rule? The parents agreed to the proposal. The girl and boy gave their consent. But when they go to get married, Mahinda says, you cannot do it. If you do not, give 5,000 rupees. Why do you need to give Mahinda 5,000 rupees to get married? If you want to obtain that 200,000 rupees he promised, you will never get married.
Still in local news, Minister of Finance Ravi Karunanayake today visited residents of Niroshan Sampath, who was killed in a drive-by shooting in Blumandol, Kotahena.
Minister Ravi Karunanayake, who visited Niroshan Sampath's residence in Stacepura Grand Pass, spoke with the family members. Through the money allocated for a meeting scheduled to be held in Kotahena, Minister Karunanayake provided scholarships to 2 children and the necessary facilities for schooling for 1 child.
They lived here with dignity. The death of Niroshan Sampath, who won the hearts of many, was not only a murder, it was also a murder of character. They murdered his character for political incentives. We see this as an attempt to fulfill their ulterior political objectives. I kindly request the people at this point of time to create a new parliament so that such incidents do not take place again.
Welcome back to the news. Here are some of the views expressed ahead of next week's elections.
How many MPs may have said that they would provide land deeds and other things? You may have gone crazy over this and voted for them, but after the election none of them could be even found. This is the nature of it. What did they do in the country over the past 6 months? They made a series of promises that a major change will be made in the country. But if you look at this entire series of promises, they have all fallen apart. Constructing a road and a building isn't development. Development should mean the improvement in your economy and your lives. This is the development we intend on bringing about. It is like fairy tales which we have heard about heaven. There is God, there are fairies and divine cuisines. There is also the tree which grants all wishes, and then there is also erotic women for pleasure. This is astounding. All of this is a complete lie. We have promised to provide 1 million jobs, create cluster villages, health and to improve the education sector much more than it is now. These are the promises in our election manifesto. Our vision is to bring victory to the country. Ranil Wickremesinghe's tyre is punctured. That is why there is no air. Its canvas has deteriorated. He doesn't even know how to fix a tyre puncture. Why do I say this? It is because if he takes over the government, he is always vulnerable of being sent home. We cannot let Mahinda Rajapaksa win at any cost. It must be very clearly said that the little Rajapaksas will not be allowed to launch rockets, ride on white horses and drive Lamborghinis with the innocent taxpayers' money. They were searching for Lamborghinis and all sorts of other things. They couldn't prove it. Now ultimately they have summoned me to the FCID with just days left for the election. What they are trying to do is destroy our image and demoralizing our campaign. There's a new sense of faith towards the police and the judiciary now. Through the faith, we have a plan to create a program which provides 1 million jobs to the youth of this country. They are just throwing numbers out. They say that they will provide 1 million jobs through the Volkswagen company. Mahinda Rajapaksa could have stayed in power for 11 years, but some astrologer came along and told him to call for election 2 years early because he will win anyway. But we fielded the General Secretary of his very own party as a candidate and sent him packing on the 8th of January. The executive presidency is ours, and for the next 5.5 years, this executive presidency is the chairman of our party. This means that your safety and assurance lies with the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Through the historic victory on the 8th of January, the 2 most top seats were cleansed with Maithripala Sirisena as the president and Ranil Wickremesinghe as the prime minister. Now come the 17th, you have the opportunity to cleanse the seats in parliament. The picture of our president is placed on cutouts of the UMP. This is hilarious. Why can't they contest with Ranil Wickremesinghe's face on them? Even if you vote for the elephant or the beetle leaf, it will eventually become a partnership. Do you know who gets elected to parliament take up a ministerial portfolio will say? They will say that they will not take up these positions from Ranil. We took them from Maithripala Sirisena because he's our party leader. They might also say that they did not go for the UMP government. Even I used to go listen to speeches of the JVP after May Day rallies. I was very happy to listen to them because they were so pleasant. Please elect educated and intelligent people to parliament. If not, there will be no people to speak and fight against these corrupt governments. If there are any candidates contesting the election from any party and are not suitable, please make sure that they are defeated and sent home.
Members of the United National Front for Good Governance today held a public forum to spell out their vision for economic and social development post the general elections.
Many of you are accusing us as to why there is a very slow pace in bringing people that have committed crime. Unfortunately, all these appointments have been done not with independent commissions, and that's why we have been very articulately mentioning that we require independent commissions, even including the Attorney General's Department. Now, you refer certain problems that are there, and you come back with answers that we never believed. You could see the financial systems that we inherited was in a perilous situation. You would see that the debt that we inherited is unbelievable. It was like a grenade handed over without a pin.
In Sri Lanka, the rice production could go down by as much as 30% and tea production by 5%. As you know, Sri Lanka currently spends more than half of its total export on oil exports. The aim is to make Sri Lanka self-sufficient in energy by 2025. Our development plan includes extracting natural gas from Manna Basin, initially converting the fossil fuel plants there in Kerolpitia and Paliagoda, and then converting transport sector to natural gas.
The past government, to their credit, built roads and highways. But I think our emphasis on the future has to be on public transport. Every year, the speed coming into the city of Colombo is reducing by about 1 kilometer per hour. 9 out of 10 vehicles are driven by a man. And therefore, where are the women in this country traveling? They're traveling on public transport. They're taking their kids to school. They're going to their workplaces. A woman cannot travel with dignity on public transport, whether it's a bus or whether it's a train. We have to change it for everybody, but we need to change it, and there's a disproportionate benefit to the dignity of women in this country.
We have messed up our priorities. Either we export or we perish. That is a simple fact of life. With 20 million people, we can't depend on our economy to sustain high growth. Only if we plug ourselves to the world and start producing products and services that are competitive with the rest of the world, we will fail.
Fielding a question on Sri Lanka's 1.4 million strong public sector workforce, UMP nationalist candidate Kadu Jayasuriya had these comments.
Well, Sri Lanka got the world's largest public sector. The world average is for every 280, there should be one public servant. But in Sri Lanka, our average is 15. So you can imagine the size of the public service is boosted up. So we have to do a complete study of the whole situation. Then also we ought to have a system where the provincial councils and the government do not do the same thing. And we know the seriousness of the situation. And it's at the end of the day, it's the people of this country is paying for this. So definitely it will receive the attention of the government.
Thank you. Former Sri Lankan permanent representative of the United Nations in Geneva, Tamara Kunanayakam, has, through her attorney at law, sent a letter of demand to Foreign Minister Mangala Samaravira, seeking damages of 500 million rupees for defaming her on a program telecast recently on a private television.
The letter of demand sent by attorney at law Arunodini Sendupperama on behalf of Tamara Kunanayakam states that the foreign minister had, on a television program of a private media channel on the 17th of March 2015, uttered statements about her client maliciously and with intent to defame and ridicule her, and also cause her grave pain of mind. The letter further states that the defamatory statements made by Minister Samaravira express and imply to the world at large that her client, who has been the country's permanent representative and ambassador to the UN, is a supporter of the ruthless and dangerous terrorist organization known as the LTTE, admittedly without even ascertaining the truth of it. It goes on to say that the statements and or comments and or remarks against a client in the said program and or broadcast per se in the innuendo are defamatory of her client, and that the general public have understood it as defamatory to her client, who is held in high esteem both locally and internationally. The letter of demand adds that Kunanayagam has been an international servant for a long period of time, and that she was attached to the United Nations and to its various agencies, and was also nominated by the non-aligned movement as its candidate for the position of chairperson rapporteur of the UN Open-Minded Intergovernmental Working Group on the Right to Development. Attorney-at-Law Arunodini Sendaperuma, on behalf of Tamara Kunanayagam, had quantified the damage caused to her client at 500 million rupees and has demanded that the minister pay her client the sum within 10 days from the date of the letter. It adds that in the event of failure to comply with the letter of demand, Tamara Kunanayagam has instructed her attorney-at-law to institute legal proceedings against Minister Samaravira to recover the sum with interest and cost of suit without any further notice.
Speaking to reporters today, Sri Lankan cricketer Kumar Sangakkara commented on whether he would enter cricket administration or politics following retirement.
I believe I need to stay away from the game for a year or two after retirement and come out of the mentality of a player. Afterward, I will be ready to render my support to the Sri Lankan cricket team and cricket at any required time. I have not been invited to politics, nor have I any aspiration to enter. Therefore, I have not given any thought on that.
And that is a wrap of News First Primetime News. Thank you very much for watching. For the News First team, I am Shahin Jirongpati.
And I'm Aishchara Pinto. Good night.